what's up, True Team? Hey, we are about to talk about Lil Baby, okay? And this time we're not talking about that album that was below mediocre, okay? Yes, I said okra, all right? We're not talking about the Charlamagne the God interview that disappeared from YouTube because it didn't do anything. We're not talking about the fact that he closed down his whole record label, 4PF, because of the possibility of a RICO. We're talking about two teen murders that is being pointed his way. Yeah, two teen murders. I know once you add that to it, everything else I said is like, what? How you go? You know what I'm saying? Now we all know Lil Baby say he don't pay attention to online stuff, okay? But I'm pretty sure he's probably paying attention to this. No, I would. Let's get into it.
We have Mickey Truth.
Who is this? You got Mickey Truth kicked out.
Shout out Mickey.
Let's get one thing clear. This your girl, Mickey Truth. Into the press conference by the Atlanta Police Department of the death of two teen boys in July 2024. And y'all may be like, and what this has to do with Lil Baby? Well, we about to get into it and see. Let's start it.
Appreciate you all coming out here today, as you always do, as a strong partner, making sure we have a safe Atlanta, Georgia. I'm joined today by our actually very brand new special agent in charge of the Atlanta field office, Paul Brown. Welcome, sir. I believe this is your first week here in Atlanta. Glad to have you with us, already hitting the ground running, and the long-standing support the Atlanta Police Department has had from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Also joined today by Major Pete Malecki, who is the commander of our Major Crime Section, as well as Major Ralph.
Hold on, let me just pause real quick. Lil Baby, I know you said you had left Thug House right before they came and got his ass, but when the first person that they introduced is the federal field agent of the FBI, yeah, I'm amazed. Shit, I hope we got to make some of my shit together. Cause something, but you know what? That's just my little one too. But let's keep going.
Woolfolk, who oversees our violent crime interdiction section. The last time we gathered here as a police department with the media, we were asking for help from the community to be able to bring to custody the murders of two 13-year-olds in our city. I met just a moment ago with the mother of one of those young men, Michelle Freeman, and we were talking about the journey she's been on. The morning that she lost her son, 13-year-old friend of his, and an 11-year-old that was injured that day. And they're all celebrating a birthday party when gang violence and gun violence found its way to Spark Street. And Ms. Freeman knows that she has the condolence and the support of the Atlanta Police Department. It was there on July the 2nd. It continues today. And we made a commitment when we stood before you last time on Spark Street that we were going to identify the murders in that case. And not only were we going to identify the murders in that case, we were going to bring them to justice. And we're here today to give you an update on everyone being brought to justice that committed those crimes. Those crimes were just not against the Freeman family or the Davis family. Those crimes were not just against the Oakland City community or here on Spark Street. These crimes were against all of Atlanta. Because when gun violence touches this neighborhood and can claim the lives of two 13-year-olds, it touches every Atlanta neighborhood. And since those early morning hours, this police department has not tired in identifying who committed those crimes and bringing them to justice. And I want to acknowledge a number of the units that have been working since that morning and that have not stopped. Our homicide team, our gang unit, an analyst working out of public safety headquarters, the district attorney's office, and the FBI. And these individuals that committed the crime here on July 2nd were dangerous individuals that, if allowed to remain free on the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, were going to use guns again to harm. These individuals cannot just be taken off the street without risk to law enforcement. And thanks to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, our Apex unit, our ACE unit, and our fugitive units.
Sheesh, that's wild work. Okay, a birthday party. But y'all catch how many times we done heard the word FBI, a Federal Bureau of Investigation. Little baby, listen, better peep the flags.
We have taken into custody the last 2 individuals that we have sought for this horrible crime. And we couldn't do that without the community. Because if you remember the last time we were here, we were going door to door on every home in this neighborhood asking for the community support. So for everyone that has provided a tip, that has called Crime Stoppers, for everyone that has worked with our investigators, I want to thank you. Because everyone has a role in keeping Atlanta safe. I'm going to turn the microphone now over to the special agent in charge of the FBI field office. And Zach Brown, I do want to thank you for all the work that your team has been providing. Long before you arrived in the city, we've had a strong partnership with the FBI. And for us to be able to stand here and tell the Atlantans we have removed 2 more dangerous murders off the street, we want to thank you for your role in making that happen. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. I'm Paul Brown, the special agent in charge of FBI Atlanta's division. And it's first and foremost, I want to offer my deepest condolences to the Davis and Freeman families. No family should have to bury their 13-year-old children. The FBI is here as part of our joint efforts with the Atlanta Police and other law enforcement partners to solve cases just like this. The FBI assisted this case. It's part of our ongoing commitment to APD to combat violent crime and gang violence that's plaguing our communities. Everyone should feel safe and secure in their community and their homes. Atlanta's violent crimes and gang squads work every day with APD and our other law enforcement partners in concert through our Atlanta Metro Major Offenders Task Force and through our Atlanta Safe Streets Task Force to get violent criminals like Tredon Crawford and Ali Caldwell off the streets. We will continue to use every resource available, working with our partners to include the Atlanta Police Department to keep our community safe. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. I'm Major Pete Malecki. I'm over our major crime section. So as Chief Shearbaum stated, several weeks after this incident took place, we were out here holding a very similar press conference, and we were asking for the help from the community. In just a moment, I want to show you some pictures of 7 individuals that we were able to take into custody in conjunction with this tragic incident. I stood here and told you the story how on July 2nd, just after midnight of last year, we had 2 13-year-olds and 11-year-old celebrating the birthday of Lamont Fremont. He had just turned 13, and he got.
Hold on. They was having a birthday party at the midnight. Now, that's a little late. They be having a birthday party. I'm just saying, but sheesh, the birthday boy was killed. That's very unfortunate.
He got to experience about 30 minutes of being a teenager before his life was taken. And when I turn it over to Major Woolfolk, he's going to discuss some of the investigative techniques and really the gang involvement and the gang ties that led to this incident taking place. But one thing I want to make absolutely clear, and I said it then and I'll say it again, these kids were innocent victims. So when we talk about the gang involvement, these 2 13-year-olds and this 11-year-old, they didn't have a gang involvement. We didn't have interactions with them as a police department. They were good kids in the community, and unfortunately, their futures, their lives were taken. So I do want to thank all the community members that gave us tips and information on this case. And while I can't say necessarily that one individual tip broke this thing open, each tip is like a little puzzle piece, and we took every one of those, glued them together, and we're able to thankfully bring this case to resolution. And I will say that even though we have made 7 arrests, we never stop working cases. So if anyone has more information, we would ask that you do bring that forward, provide that to us, and we will certainly investigate every detail of those tips. So right now we're going to show some images of the individuals that we have made arrests on. So 5 of these individuals we already had in custody, we had arrested. Some of them were in jail on previous charges not related to this. So once we established probable cause, we're able to serve the jails in which they're housed with these arrest warrants. So the first one there is Mr. Sanders. Let's flip in. Richard Hollis. Reginald Thomas. Marcus Crawford. Mr. Mobley. Tredon Crawford. And Tredon is one of the individuals that we took into custody yesterday. And then the final 7th individual is Mr. Ollie Caldwell. If you notice with these
they all got similar last name. They must be related.
Individuals, 2 of them share the same last name. It's because they are brothers. So it seems like there was some type of family history of gang activity, gang involvement. And unfortunately, on the night of July 2nd, that escalated to 2 13-year-old children losing their lives.
That's crazy.
So I'm going to turn it over to Major Ralph Woolfolk, and he will discuss a little bit of the gang conflict and some of the investigative techniques and procedures that we used to get us here today. So thank you.
Thanks, Major. My name is Major Ralph Woolfolk of the Violent Crime Interdiction Section. And I first want to say the overall theme of this case is grown men playing gangster that left 2 of our children in graves and a community in fear. And we know in these communities that strength is about building community, not destroying it. And in this case, leaving 2 young people in their grave. I want to thank the community that was here with our investigation team from the inception of this incident. Out on the night of the incident, we not only received investigative assistance from this community, but we also saw a community that was full of compassion and love. Video evidence depicted several people in this community pouring out of their apartments, attempting to triage wounds, attempting to transport persons to the hospital, and making several 911.
Apartment complex was shot up. Oh, that's so sad. Like hearing about stuff like that. Like, dang, you ain't know who you was trying to aim at. You just shooting anybody, everybody.
911 calls from this community that were used throughout our investigation that led ultimately, with their assistance, to some of the apprehensions in this case. I want to also thank the FBI, who has not only been an incredible partner to us throughout this investigation, but has also been a consistent partner to us throughout our fight, as Chief Shearbaum always says, against gangs, guns, and drugs. We have had a consistent partnership with the FBI that has aided us in suppressing our violent crime. And for our team members internally in the Atlanta Police Department that spent countless hours, investigative hours, a tandem approach, collaborative approach between homicide, between gangs, between our ACE unit, between our intelligence analysts, and several other internal units throughout the police department that spent countless hours working this case. I remember getting a call from the gang unit over 4th of July weekend, asking to go up on a wiretapped investigation. And subsequent to that call, the next 48 hours was spent on the phone with our district attorney's office, who was a great support to us throughout this investigation and trying to stand that T3 up. And through that investigation, our gang unit sacrificed vacations. Our gang unit sacrificed time with loved ones, sacrificed relationships throughout the course of this investigation. In 5,424 man hours from July 10th through October 30th, that was spearheaded by the Atlanta Police Gang Unit in a wire room to ultimately assemble key facts and elements leading us to where we are.
So basically, some niggas got on the phone talking too much, and that helped them solve these 2 murders. That's wild. Okay. If y'all think y'all know anything, you should know they've been tapping phones since before cell phones was even out. Like, come on, like, but let's see. Let's see what they heard on these wiretaps.
In the investigation. And for the investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults in our city. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days,
whoa, I wasn't ready. Like, we got to back it up. Hey, old buddy here, He like, yeah, Atlanta-based rapper. We got. Listen, how many times have we heard the word FBI or Federal Bureau of Investigation? How many times have we hear it? Keep that in mind as we play this back.
Gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for the
shots fired. If I had my soundboard pulled up, all you will hear is bang, bang, bang. Yo. That's your warning right there. And I don't think that's a warning like you can do anything to stop it. Whoever this Atlanta-based rapper is, we don't know yet.
For those actions. Ultimately, there are components of this investigation that led back to a prison in the state of Georgia where an illegal phone, a contraband phone, was used to orchestrate these acts. There was a hit called by a high-ranking gang member on the opposite side of that opposing rapper's gang. And I'll tell you today, that gang was Goodfellas. Goodfellas Criminal Street Gang being one of the most hyper-violent gangs in the city of Atlanta. And we will pursue you relentlessly in making sure that we keep this city safe and suppressing violence throughout our city. And lastly, I'll say, as Major Malecki indicated, there is still a $50,000 reward that is on the table for additional information in relationship to this case. And our detectives and our officers through all of the internal units and external units that you see here today will be knocking on doors and working with this community that has been so resilient to collect additional information to continue to move this investigation forward. Thank you.
We'll now open up for questions. We'll start on that side with Tom Reagan.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to stop it there. Let me tell you, it ain't even no secret who they talking about. They talking about Lil Baby, okay? And y'all ain't heard this from me. It's on the news, okay? Local news has already put a name on it. They're referring to Lil Baby, okay? Like, what the fuck, okay? Lil Baby, I know you doing these big old concerts now with the, you know, the fireworks and all that, baby. You going to jail. Hey, I don't want you to go to jail. They're saying you're going to jail, and they're not going to stop at anything. I don't know what they heard on these wiretaps, but it's definitely something, okay? It's definitely something. This is why you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, okay? When you get out the streets, you need to get out the streets. And you need to leave that life behind, meaning don't take your ass to the other side of town where you don't supposed to be at, like police say. You better shoot videos in somebody else's neighborhood. So my unwanted opinion is this. The fucking sky is falling. Lil Baby thought by canceling out his record label 4PL. Why they name their record labels after gangs? I don't know. But anyway, cancel out or, you know, drop that was going to save him. Bro, you ain't got to worry about Fonnie Willis, or whatever her name is. You got the feds that's about to come get your ass. The feds is coming to get you. Child. Listen. Y'all let me know y'all unwanted opinions in the comments. I just don't know what to say. That's crazy. And that wasn't no like that police made clear what they on. Catch you on the next one. And like I said throughout the video, that's my opinion. And if you don't like it, guess what?
I'm like, fuck you.
Hold on, wait, before I go, y'all make sure y'all tap in with me to book your slot. A lot of y'all be hitting me up on Instagram and the email wanting to just talk about content, whether you're an up-and-coming content creator or somebody just got questions about cases or whatever. Book your consultation with me now. The information is on the screen. Hey, make sure you get your slot, because my slots be filling up fast.
This is the weakest, give a fuck about what they scream.
Holla!
Shout out Mickey. Mickey, you gonna be big. Like
Yeah,
I'm
trying to conquer the world, coming from where I come from.
Hey, this your girl Mickey Truth, #1 blogger in South Carolina. #1 blogger in South Carolina.